Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Times Now. I am Ankit Tyagi. Very quickly starting with the top story that we are tracking at this moment. In fact, ever since the protests over now withdrawn farm laws began, political parties sitting in opposition at the centre have been accusing the government of working against the interests of the farmers and rushing to shed tears over Kisan's plight. Now, today, Times Now will expose these Andolanjeevis, as Prime Minister referred to those who the farmers and their cause as a poll prop, but do not hesitate in depriving them from their due when it comes to real life.
For a year and a half, Delhi's borders were held hostage by agitating farmers over the three farm legislations. But 1300 kilometers away in Jalna in Maharashtra, these 8,000 farmers are neglected and looted.
की ना कुछ किसानों ने आत्महत्या की, कुछ मरे, अभी भी परेशानी में हम सब लोग कर्जदार हो गए। हाँ, कर्जदार हो गए।
For these farmers, no politician has shed a tear. No one has lent support like they did for the farmers who were protesting in the national capital.
जेने की उनकी जो पार्टी है, वो पार्टी चलना चाहिए। किसान मर गए तो चलेगा, लेकिन पार्टी जिंदा रहना चाहिए।
Shiv Sena MP Sanjay Raut met with Rakesh Tiket during that Kisan Andolan, but he was conspicuous by his silence for the farmers of his own state.
तो वो भूखे मर रहे हैं, उनके खेती में गन्ना नहीं है, पानी नहीं है। वो फैक्ट्री चलाने के बाद वो बोलते हम फैक्ट्री चलाएंगे, लेकिन क्या है उनका गन्ना कहाँ लगा रहे? गन्ना बिल्कुल नहीं लगा रहे।
Farmer leaders like Rakesh Tiket declared himself as the messiah of the country's farmers. He hit the streets, marched in the national capital, but is he being a messiah selectively?
बिल्कुल शुगर फैक्ट्री चलाने की मंशा नहीं है उनकी, खाली खुद का कैसा करोड़ों रुपए मिलाना वही देख रहे हैं।
8,000 sugarcane farmers of Maharashtra have given decades of their hard work, their sweat and toil to make this factory a success, but were forced to commit suicide after being exploited by those who were hungry for power.
25,000 करोड़ का घपला, भ्रष्टाचार, 25,000 करोड़ का भ्रष्टाचार, ये राजनीतिक लोगों का बाहर आ जाएगा।
Their voice has been suppressed for long, but today, Times Now will be their voice. We will fight for these 8,000 farmers in Jalna, and we will expose the power-hungry politicians who used these farmers as props for the gain and then left them to their fate. Bureau Report, Times Now.
Right. In fact, let me also introduce my guest at this moment, Shweta Shalini, who is a spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, is with us. Ravi Srivastava, political analyst, is also joining us at this moment. But I just want to very quickly just listen into the plight, ladies and gentlemen, of these farmers. Okay. Before, in fact, we get you more reactions, I want to get my first, in fact, initial reactions on this big story. Ravi Srivastava, I want to start with you. There is no denying the fact that farmers and the Kisan Netas and the opposition parties who were putting their weight behind the farmers' agitation, which was on the borders of the Delhi, that was their right. People did what they had to. But can the Shiv Sena, the NCP, even the Congress, which is in power in Maharashtra, turn a blind eye to the way these farmers have been robbed in their own state? Shouldn't this be seen as the duplicity as far as these political parties are concerned?
First things first, there should be a thorough probe in this whole matter. But I want to remind you that none other than the Honorable Prime Minister has admitted that the cause for which the Kisan Netas were fighting was justified, and all the three black laws were repealed by the Honorable Prime Minister himself. So calling them that they were Andolanjeevi or they were Khalistani or they were commando force, etc. is an abuse to them, which were heard by none other than these BJP spokespersons time and again on the reputed digital channels. they should apologize first to the nation.
Sir, but wouldn't the government of Maharashtra be better off by setting an example rather than going back into that entire political debate? The names of the powerful people from the Pawar family are being taken by these farmers, and you've heard them on camera coming out and saying how this entire modus operandi was created to deprive them of the sugar factory, which in fact they were partners in, they were running it. Now, this is not a one-off example, and you know it very well, Ravi Srivastava. This, at least on this matter, there is no defense.
Allow me that first of all, this is absolutely a political vendetta, because the BJP is unable to hide their frustration and disgust which they received on 26 November 2019 by fraudulently giving the oath to the Mr. Fadnavis and giving to the government, etc. And ultimately they had...
Come on, Ravi Srivastava. I expect better from you, sir. You've been... I expect better from you. It's a very clear-cut case where people have been robbed, deprived of their right, and you are just calling it a political agenda. Of course, the political parties will jump into this, but the entire matter is because the political parties in Maharashtra, several powerful people have deprived the farmers. Shweta, I want to understand from you, is this just a political agenda? Now the BJP reversing it and giving it back to the political parties which were supporting the farmers?
First and foremost, you asked me a question. I want to ask you a question. There are three political parties ruling Maharashtra. You don't find one political representative from these parties who can come to your channel and talk about their strategies. What you find is a political analyst who comes here and says nothing but talks about history. Coming back to the state of affairs in Maharashtra, everything that is happening in Maharashtra is laden with corruption. So there is absolutely no work. As you can see, the Chief Minister does not step out of his house. He has selective... Ravi ji, please, while you were talking, I was not saying anything.
Ravi ji,
you need to
extend her the courtesy. Ravi Srivastava, extend her the courtesy. Let her complete a point, and then you come in.
Only in 2021, 2,500 committed suicide, and it is all because of corruption. Yeah, they came on the basic mandate of giving 25,000 rupees per hectare. Where is that mandate gone? Where is the manifesto?
Shweta, was your previous government under Mr. Fadnavis sleeping because you were partners with Shiv Sena? This case did not happen in the last 3-4 years. This is a old, in fact, story. So I just want to understand from you, these farmers have been suffering for a very long time. Was your government sleeping at that point of time?
Please understand, first and foremost, let's pick up one simple example, okay? Let's pick up crop insurance. We gave premium of 500 crores and gave back the farmers
today there is one simple issue. This is the Jalna sugar factory. So don't try and digress. I just want to understand from you, apart from political tutu meme, what was your government doing when you were in power?
Who rules the cooperative sector? And who is the MP of Jalna? Who has brought out this issue? Please understand, while these people are sleeping inside, Devendra Fadnavis ji is all across. It is.
Devendra Fadnavis should feel the obligation.
Jha sahab, aap bole acha laga, lekin I want to understand from you. Sanjay Raut, when he sits next to Mr. Rakesh Tikait and swears by standing, they will stand with the farmers. Is Sanjay Raut going to go tomorrow to Jalna and stand with these farmers as well? Is he going to demand, your party is going to demand some action? Your party is going to show solidarity with these farmers? Or अपने स्टेट में अगर है तो ठीक है, otherwise बाहर जाके political मुद्दे उठाएंगे?
First thing is that Mr. Sanjay Raut Sahab will go. And second thing is that we have always supported the Kisan, their protest and all the things they have carried on. We are not against the Kisans of the country. And the charges which has been leveled now, see, the BJP has failed on all fronts in Maharashtra to level any charges against this government. They will not come up with any truth.
These charges are not being leveled by the BJP, sir. These are the 8,000 farmers. There is an investigation going on. There is a court case which is going on. This is not being leveled by the BJP. So let's not digress from it. I have a very straightforward question to you. Shweta, can you hold on? Shweta, hold on. Let me just complete my question. I will come to you. You can respond then.
Four of their ministers are missing. And he has.
Mr.
Can I complete my question? Thank you, Shweta. Just hold on to that. Mr. Jha, I just want to understand from you, and I want a straight answer. While you say that we are with the farmers, there are allegations against Shiv Sena members as far as this entire story goes. Are you going to take action or not? Are you going to ask that member to step down before the investigation is completed?
Who are the members who are involved from Shiv Sena? That has to come in forefront.
It's in public, sir. Mr. Khotkar, his companies are under the question.
It is under the question. It has not been proved. Let it get proved.
तो इंतजार करें सर 10-1 साल और because आप कह रहे थे कि this has been, BJP is making these allegations. Let me now just stay with me, and I want to play out some reactions, case studies of people, those who have been defrauded, people, those who have suffered at the hands of the politicians colluding together to completely rob them of their rights. Listen, ladies and gentlemen.
हजारों लोगों के योगदान से ये कारखाना खड़ा रहा। इसमें तो हजारों चोर है हमारे महाराष्ट्र में। कामगारों को दिए नहीं पैसे, काश्तकारों को दिए नहीं, शेयर होल्डर को।
शरद पवार और अजित पवार, इनका सब एक खेल है।
Several victims are now pointing fingers towards current Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar. But it is not just the NCP who is in the dock. Shiv Sena too faces allegations of being in cahoots.
शुगर फैक्ट्री का भ्रष्टाचार है, ये पूरा प्लानिंग करके किया है, प्लानिंग।
अली बाबा बोले तो भी चलता है, क्योंकि वो तो 40 चोर थे, लेकिन इसमें तो हजारों चोर है हमारे महाराष्ट्र में, सहकार लूटने वाले। उसके ये शरद जी पवार और उनके भतीजे अजित दादा इसके मास्टरमाइंड है।
But before we tell you who are these people making scathing indictments against parties in power in Maharashtra, let's take you to the epicenter of this alleged injustice. Jalna district is 400 kilometers from Mumbai. And this is the cooperative sugar factory in question. Times Now team spent 5 days here investigating, trying to unearth the truth. The man on your screens is one of the 8,000 farmers who once could boast of being co-owners of Jalna sugar factory, but now have been forced to live a life of penury.
जालना शुगर कारखाना बर्बाद क्या हुआ, उसने किसानों को भी बर्बाद करके रख दिया। और आज गन्ना किसान इस हालात में हैं कि वो इस तरह से कोल्हू चलाकर गन्ने का रस बेचकर अपना जीवन यापन कर रहे हैं। वो किसान जो एक वक्त अपना गन्ना जालाना की शुगर मिल में बेचते थे, पैसा कमाते थे, आज उनकी स्थिति ये हो गई है।
15 एकड़ गन्ना लगाते थे जब फैक्ट्री चालू थी जब, और आज सब्जी खाली कोल्हू के लिए 1 एकड़ गन्ना लगाता हूँ सब्जी में।
कितना फर्क आया आपकी कमाई में, आर्थिक स्थिति कितनी बुरी हुई फैक्ट्री?
बहुत बुरी हाल है सब्जी। कारखाना बंद होने की वजह से मेरा जो मुख्य पीक था वो गन्ना ही था, और गन्ना बोना ही नहीं, हमारा आसपास कारखाना है नहीं सब्जी।
ये बर्बादी के दिन कब से शुरू हुए फैक्ट्री के? क्या
फैक्ट्री के बर्बादी के दिन जब शुरू हो गए, हमारे जो नेता थे बाला साहब पवार, वो साहब जी गुजर गए, और ये बाकी के जो सत्तारूढ़ बाकी के लोग जो आ गए, ये शिवसेना वगैरह, ये बाकी के पक्षी जो लोग आ गए, ये इन्होंने सब कारखाना खा लिया साहब जी।
So what led to the shareholders of a profit-making factory to be thrown into poverty? To understand that, let's go back in history. The foundation of this factory was laid after the efforts of Bala Sahib Pawar, Aurangabad MP in the 80s, who is credited with bringing together 7,861 farmers, pooling resources to collect 7 crore 52 lakh rupees to invest in the enterprise. For 10 years, the factory ran successfully, making profits year after year. But the stint was broken in 1997-1998.
85-86 से तो 97-98 तक ये कारखाना सही ढंग से चला, क्योंकि वो बाला साहब पवार जो थे हमारे, उनके ताबे में थी। उसके बाद वो ये चीनी मिल जो है, जो हमारे स्थायी राजकीय नेते अरविंद राव चौहान, उनके ताबे में गए, और वो बॉल्डी में अर्जुन राव खोतकर ये डायरेक्टर थे। जब से ये शुगर मिल को गलती चालू हो गई, उसमें भ्रष्टाचार चालू हो गया।
The big question is, who are these people being named as villains of this man?
Ladies and gentlemen, the farmers are suffering, and we keep seeing political parties, whenever it's convenient to them, standing with them. Otherwise, nobody cares. Thank you so much to all my guests for joining me at this moment. A quick break at this moment. On the other side, news and updates will continue on Times Now. Stay tuned. Come back.